Hey guys, this is Young, and today we'll be making beef bourguignon. And to drink with that, we'll be drinking some Burgundy Red Wine. Beef bourguignon is a French-style beef stew from the region of Burgundy. Typically, it uses a Burgundy Red Wine. Today, I'll be using non-Burgundy Red Wine because I have a lot of wine I want to get rid of. But we'll be drinking one. And then today, the recipe we'll be using is from the great Julia Child and the Mastering the Art of French Cooking. I'll be omitting some steps because I'm lazy, but it will still just taste fine. Do note that this recipe does take at least 3 hours to cook, so if you want this dish, get started early. Okay, ingredients that we need. First and foremost, beef. I have about 3 pounds. This should be enough for about 6 people. Typically, you want to use a cheaper cut of beef, like beef chuck. Because you'll be cooking this for a long time, you don't need an expensive cut. And along with that, we need some bacon or pancetta, a pound of mushrooms, 1 onion, and then 1 additional onion if you're gonna go with the lazy route. You wanna have some carrots, and that's it for the vegetables. In terms of the seasoning and the herbs, you will need some thyme, some parsley, flat leaf parsley, Italian parsley, whatever you wanna call it, the bay leaf, garlic, tomato paste, some flour, butter, and beef stock. And last but not least, actually most importantly, you need a red wine. I recommend getting 2, 1 for drinking and 1 for cooking. Let's get started. First, we'll dice our carrots and onions. Then we cut the beef into large pieces. I would say about 2 inches. Going to cut up our bacon. We will use about 8 ounces here. Chopping in about 1.5 inches. Alright, let's get to cooking. Simmer the bacon for about 10 minutes. If you're using pancetta, you can skip this step. We're simmering the bacon to help remove the smoke flavor. Traditionally, the meat used here was salted but not smoked. However, when the recipe was written, pancetta wasn't really a thing in the US. Flipping the bacon. I'm gonna pat it dry. And fry the bacon. I fry it in medium heat until the fat is rendered out and it has a nice color. We brown the beef in the bacon fat. No need to cook through, just the outside. Cook the beef in batches. We don't want to overcrowd the pot. That will steam the meat instead of giving it a nice crust. Once that's done, we'll cook our veggies in the fond. The vegetables are browned. Add back in the meats. I'm gonna add in some flour to coat the meat to give it a crust. About 2 tablespoons. And give it a good mix. Salt. Pepper. More. Time to add in more wine. Add 3 cups. Without wine, it's just a beef stew. It's the wine that makes it a beef bourguignon. I mean, it'll taste just as good, just put in some beef stock and then salt and pepper and simmer it in there, but this is beef bourguignon. I'm sure I'm butchering it, but it's okay. Add in about 1 tablespoon. About 2 cloves of garlic. And 3 why not. Some bay leaves. Now with this, here we go now. Since I don't have beef stock, just using the concentrate with hot water. Now we get this to simmer, and then we put it in the oven for 2.5 to 3 hours. Make sure the oven is preheated to 325 degrees. Wow. Oh, it's heavy. And now we wait 2.5 hours. And while we wait, we'll be making the onions and the mushrooms, which will be added on at the end. Original recipe calls for pearl onions, but not in this inflated economy. Clean and de-stem these shrooms. And now we're going to add the oil and the butter. This is to lower the smoking point to allow higher temp with butter. And you add the onions. Maybe the salt, the pepper. Just cook that for about 10 minutes. Add half cup of wine, parsley, bay leaf, and some thyme, and put it in the oven with the beef bourguignon. And now we wait 40 to 50 minutes. Take out the bay leaf. Sprinkle some salt and pepper to taste and mix. Here, let's cut these in half and start cooking them. Once again, put in some oil and butter. Then just cook the mushrooms through. I think it's pretty much impossible to overcook mushrooms. First, when it starts cooking, it absorbs the butter, and then it's dry. And then if you let it cook longer, you can see now it's releasing back the moisture. And once it gets to this point, you will cook it for 2 or 3 more minutes just to brown the outside, and then you should be done. We'll put this with the onions since they're both going to be added. And this will be added onto the beef bourguignon at the end. In 2.5 hours, let's check it out. Look at that. it's ready. And we're going to strain all the stew. Oh, so you can tell that that's way too liquidy. So what you want to do, you want to stir it down to 2.5 cups. So it's thick enough to coat your spoon and stew. Main one. And just give it a mix. Remove the fat for the sauce. It's all fat right there. It's been boiling for a few minutes now. Tell that like the sauce will coat the spoon lightly. Give it a good stir. And we're gonna let this simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we're ready to eat. There we go. Alright, time to taste. It's mukbang time. It's nice and well seasoned. There is a little bit fattiness on the sauce, but I think that'll be tomorrow once I put it in the fridge and let it cool down. I can take the skin, the fat out, and that should be even better. The wine really gives it that acidity and more complexity in the soup that you wouldn't get just like in the stew that you wouldn't get from just putting in water. Works pretty well. The stew could be very heavy, but it's actually the acidity from the wine makes it a bit lighter. And then with a Pinot Noir, which is the typical wine that they grow in Burgundy, that gives it a little hit. So that's the case like, oh, it's a little heavy with the meat and the potato. This will give you a nice palate cleanser to start the dish over again. I've been working on this all day, and I think that's about all I can say about the dish. So I'm out. Thanks for watching.